So I installed a full Mac OS on my iPad, and honestly, it's running way smoother than I expected. It's obviously not the latest version of Mac OS, but yeah, it's working really well, especially for a full desktop operating system running on an iPad. In this video, I'll show you how I got everything set up, and we'll see how the iPad handles this classic Mac OS. We'll try out some third-party tools, browse the internet, and even play a game to see what this setup can actually do. So, Finder hasn't really changed much over the years, and honestly, it feels like I'm using the Modern Files app. Browsing around works exactly as expected. I even tried installing Chrome, but because this version of macOS uses a different architecture, Chrome just doesn't run. Safari does open, but most modern websites don't support this old Safari anymore. So a lot of pages simply refuse to load. So I installed a third-party browser. Let me launch that from Spotlight. I went with TenFourFox. It's basically a custom version of Firefox built for PowerPC Macs. And surprisingly, it works pretty well. But yeah, it still struggles with modern websites, video codecs, and anything that needs hardware acceleration. Now let me show you something fun. The classic Mac chess game. Look at this nostalgic 3D board. But it's not registering my clicks at all. So yeah, this one doesn't work. I tested a few other apps as well. For example, iTunes works perfectly fine, but since Apple discontinued it, we can't fetch songs from the internet anymore. Here's something unexpected. When I go to Software Update and check for updates, I actually get two update notifications, one for macOS and one for iTunes. I really don't know why Apple is still pushing updates to this system, but it's interesting to see. And of course, Terminal is here too. It always works, no matter which macOS version you're on. One of the coolest features of this setup is the ability to use a touchscreen with Mac, which isn't natively supported on MacBooks. Rumors suggest that Apple is working on MacBooks with touchscreen support and LED displays. Alright, that's the walkthrough of this whole setup. Now let's talk about how I actually managed to get this running on my iPad. I used an app called UTM SE, Retro PC Emulator, which is available on the App Store. It's a tool that allows you to emulate older computer systems and run classic operating systems as virtual machines. In my case, I used an original Mac OS X Leopard installation disk that I bought years ago, and set up the virtual machine using PowerPC architecture using UTM SE. So I installed UTM SE. Let's see how to set up a Mac OS virtual machine. Once you're inside the UTM app, click on Create a new virtual machine. Then select New Machine. Then, since we're installing Mac, go ahead and select Mac as your operating system. Increase the RAM. If your iPad has 8 GB of RAM, allocate at least 2 GB, basically around 25% of your RAM. Leave the rest of the settings as they are and continue. Now you need to choose your Mac OS file. I'm using my Mac OS Leopard CD for this. For storage, I recommend giving the system 15 GB. Since this is a full desktop operating system, 15 GB is the minimum you should allocate. UTM will ask if you want to create a shared folder. That lets you transfer files between the iPad and Mac OS. We'll skip that for now. Alright, at this point our virtual machine is all set up, and as you can see here, it's showing us the summary screen. Go ahead and save it. Perfect. Our virtual machine is now ready to go. Simply press the Start button to begin. And there we go. You can see the Mac installer is now running with the Apple logo displayed on screen. We'll need to wait here for a bit until the installer fully launches. Excellent. The Mac OS installer has loaded. Now just click Continue and agree to the policies. Now here's an important step. The installer is asking us to select a disk, so we need to format that 15 GB of storage we allocated earlier. And give it a moment to detect our disk. Once it appears, select the disk image from the left-hand menu. This will reveal several options for us. Since we need to format it, click on the Erase tab. Now erase it and format it as Mac OS Extended or Mac OS. After your hard disk is properly formatted as Mac OS, you can close the disk utility window. Perfect. Now you'll see your formatted hard disk appearing in the installer menu. Select it and click Continue. The installation process will now begin. From here, we just need to be patient. The installation can take quite a while. In my case, it took well over an hour. So make sure to leave your iPad plugged in and charging, and just let the process run its course. Once the installation finishes, you may encounter an error message saying the install failed. Don't worry if this happens. The reason you're seeing this error is simply because the virtual machine installer didn't automatically restart Mac OS. Just click the restart button and it will boot into Mac OS properly this time. And there you have it. We're now officially on the Mac OS setup screen. Go ahead and complete the setup process and you'll be ready to use Mac OS right here on your iPad. So yeah, in the end, this setup works way better than I thought. It's not practical for daily use, but it's a fun project and honestly pretty cool to see a full Mac OS running on an iPad. And that wraps up this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe for more tech experiments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.